Hey, what's going on, YouTube fam? Check this out. This is Dr. Dwight here. I just wanted to get up on here, and in this video, I just really wanted to encourage you all to never allow anyone or don't let anyone's opinions about you stop you from what it is that you want to do, from it is the things that you are doing. Listen, people are going to always have something to say. Okay? They're gonna people gonna always find fault in every single thing that you do, no matter how good you try to be, no matter how pure your intentions are, how upright you try to be, how righteous you try to be, no matter all these good things that you try to do, no matter how you try to explain yourself, no matter how much you over explain, overshare, people are going to always find fault in you and in the things that you do or say. You have to become comfortable with that. You have to be okay with people not being okay with you, because you have to understand people aren't okay with themselves. So, how can they possibly be okay with you? You can't expect someone who truly doesn't really love themselves wholeheartedly to love you and accept you and be rooting and cheerful and grateful and all these good things for you when they don't feel it for themselves. Some of us can do that. Some of us, even though we may be, especially the healers, when we can be at our lowest moments in our lives, but we still have that encouragement to uplift people. But everybody ain't healers, and everybody can't do that. So, you have to understand that people can only give you what they have on the inside. And if they don't have love for themselves, how can they possibly have love for you? And sometimes when people see you be successful, what that does to them is it stirs up what they got going on and their discontentment with their lives. And when they see you out there thriving, they see you out there taking chances, even though you may have failed a time or two, a couple of times, but you still get right back up and you keep on going. That's also motivation for them. But because they don't know how to necessarily receive it, all they know how to do is just kind of be negative and kind of say things that are critical, because they're really talking about themselves. They're really more so, I guess, condemning themselves or whatever the case may be, or criticizing themselves. It's never really ever truly about you, especially when you know you haven't done anything to anyone, but yet this person has so much vitriol, so much negativity toward you and what you're trying to do with your life and where you want to go with your life, but they have an opinion. It's like that meme that's going around. Do not be a parrot in life. A parrot talks way too much. A parrot has a lot to say, but they can't fly too high. You see what I'm saying? But you want to be an eagle. An eagle can almost touch the sky. You see what I'm saying? So you have to understand that you stop surrounding yourself around parrots, chickens, and stuff like that. I know that's a cliche, and I know everybody's talking about it, but it's so fitting for the topic at hand. Stop surrounding yourself around these people that can't get too far off the ground. And if they can get too far off the ground, they like a crow. They can't really do too much. They have the appearance of these types of things, and into the chickens and the things that are on the ground and parrots, they the top of the line. They're the ish. But when you are an eagle, you know how to remain silent, and you know your power, and you know how to rise above. You know how to go higher to where the crows, the parrots, and the chickens, they can't go. So you have to be an eagle, and you have to understand and learn and know your position in life and in your position around the people that you surround yourself with or around. You have to understand your position there. And that requires you to just become wise. And wisdom, all you got to do is just really be silent. Just start paying attention to what you see people say and what you see people do. Knowledge speaks, wisdom listens. If you want to know something about somebody, just be quiet, just listen. Most people will tell on themselves. All you have to do is just be quiet and just sit back and listen. Don't listen to respond, but listen to understand. And a person will tell you all that you need, that you need to know about them. And people say, well, how you know you're dealing with a narcissist? Narcissistic people love to talk about themselves. They love to talk about themselves. They love it. And that's just not narcissistic people. That's arrogant people. I mean, people, people that are people love to talk about themselves. They love to talk about themselves. People love a listening ear. So if you want to know, just be quiet. You know, and I hear a lot of people talking about divine feminine and feminine energy and stuff like that, and divine masculine, masculine energy. That is one of the most powerful attributes of having that feminine energy, is because you know how to be wise, you know how to be silent, you know how to be quiet. You know, people talk about Beyonce all the time, but what does Beyonce do? She's putting us on silent treatment. Because when you be silent, you force people to be left alone with themselves. And most people can't be with themselves. When you are silent and people say something to you, you force people to have to think about what it is that they're saying. They don't know. They don't know if they're getting to you. They don't know what's happening. So their intentions start to show. And because most people haven't really truly done the work to be alone by themselves, when you leave them alone by themselves in their mess, they don't know how to handle it. Then that's when they start saying stuff. Then that's when you really start to see them acting real crazy, because now they're trying to resort to what we call shock value, right? So they're trying to just do any and everything that they can to get your attention, to elicit a response from you. Don't give it to them. And I know sometimes it's hard because I people say stuff about me. People say stuff about me. People have opinions and things like that. And sometimes I want to respond, and sometimes I'm not gonna lie. I'm human just like everybody else, and I slip up and I say something. I'm human, you know. But the majority of the time, I do not say anything. The majority of the time, I practice silence. And that's what people have to understand. You ain't never, ever, ever going to be perfect. You ain't never, ever, ever going to get to the point where you just absolutely don't respond to any single thing. It's the consistency, and it is the number of times that you do respond versus the number of times that you don't respond. It's like, do you respond 80% of the time and you don't respond 20% of the time? Or do you not respond and practice silence 80% of the time, but you got that 20% that sometimes you just, you know what, you just slip up. And that's when you need that good old grace. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to keep it as real and as authentic as I possibly can with you all, because I want you all to really understand how this stuff works, and to kind of loosen up, and kind of like, don't think that you have to be perfect, and that if you slip up, that, oh my God, it's over. I had to start all over again. And I've been doing great for the past 6 months, and I had this one slip up, and oh man, I cussed, I said this, oh my gosh, it's over. I done just ruined it all. No. You had a moment, you slipped up, you pick yourself back up, and you keep going. You assess the situation, what caused you to have that slip up. Assess it. What caused you to have this slip up? What was it? What did they say that triggered you so bad that it elicited that response from you? You see what I'm saying? So that's the kind of things that you got to do. And basically, people talk about, don't let that get to you, don't let that get to you. What I'm explaining to you a little bit, kind of throwing some little tips and little gems in there to help you actually apply that to your life, right? You have to kind of be mindful of what it is that you say. And when people say things to you, you have to kind of remember that it's really not necessarily about you, especially if you ain't done nothing to this person. It's more so about them. And if anything, that gives you insight to the person that's in front of you and kind of what they got going on. And that could, hopefully, if you're a healer, or not a healer, well, whatever the case may be. For me, I'm a healer. That's what I do. So I practice compassion. That helps me to understand. But for you, you may be like, oh man, you know what? See, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? You have to do whatever is best for you. The goal is not to just be me. The goal is not to be somebody that you are not. The goal is to know how to respond in a more healthy, productive, and an effective manner or way when you're dealing with people. That's it. It's not necessarily what you do, it's your intentions behind what it is that you do, and it's how you do it. You see what I'm saying? So that's just kind of some little tips and tricks, little things like that. But I just kind of want to get up on here and share that with you all. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. And I really don't, see you all. But, when you leave your comments and your likes and stuff like that, I'm seeing you all in spirit. So peace, you all. Bye.